What's up, guys? It's Greg here, and welcome to today's edition of This Isn't Fun Anymore. So, I lost our game 2 weeks ago, and we put out some dares of what you want me to do, and one of the best ones I saw was eating something spicy. No, I'm not dyeing my hair. Why would I ruin a perfectly good head of lettuce? It's not happening. So today, I have with me a single taco from one of my favorite taco shops in Pomona, and they have the spiciest salsa I have ever had in my life. The last time I had this was 5 years ago, and I almost threw up. And today, I have some packets of it, and we're gonna pour this onto the taco. This is like habanero, really hot salsa. You can see how hot it is. They only give it to you in increments this big because it's too much. And we're gonna pour it on this taco. Oh my gosh, I'm like shaking. I don't wanna do this. I really don't wanna do this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, okay. So now we're gonna eat the taco and find out what happens. Oh my gosh, it's smothered. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Okay, this one is for you guys. Oh my gosh. I have a tear coming to one of my eyes. That's hot. I hate this game. So now I have a tear coming to one of my eyes. Only gets worse. It only gets worse. I know you guys want me to finish the taco, and I will. Okay. And that was today's edition of This Isn't Fun Anymore.
Hi, guys!
Hello!
Hi!
Hi!
Hello.
Guys, we're back. We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Another Wednesday.
Another Wednesday. I have a really important question. Greg, how are you feeling?
Better. That was an experience that I hope to not go through again in my life. I don't know if you could tell at the beginning of the video, I was breathing a little heavy and I was shaking a little bit because I was like, I really don't want to do this. Like, I literally went to the taco shop and told them, I was like, yeah, I know, I'm just drinking this for a video. And they laughed at me. And that was
As they do.
a fun experience. But here I am for now.
You're alive. You're alive, and that's what's important.
Just barely.
Just barely.
But Shelly, how are you?
I am feeling a little bit better. I had it was nasty, but I'm doing a little bit better today. And so I'm really excited to be back with you guys because I sure missed you guys last week.
Woo!
We missed you too, Shelly.
Yeah, we miss you too, Shelly.
Woo! Okay,
All right.
so
So,
turn it out.
yeah, so now we are going to jump into a game, but it's not like just any other game. See, it's kind of going on this theme of tacos, and I love tacos. I truly
I
love
love
As
so
we
this
just
game
saw.
is called Taco Trivia. I don't know if you guys have ever played it before. It's pretty incredible, and it's right here. So it's called Taco Trivia. Now, the way this game plays is like your normal trivia game. There is questions, there is answers, and you have to guess. And the loser gets to do the punishment for next week. And I hope that you eat the hottest thing you've ever eaten. And no, I'm just kidding.
We can't do that twice.
The way it's
That's
played
weird.
is that you have to guess what the correct answer is. So, our first question is, Taco Bell started out as a what? A European burger stand, pizza stand, or wonderful dream? What's your guesses?
Okay, so interesting piece of information. When Taco Bell first opened, my dad, his claim to fame as a teenager was that he could eat one of absolutely everything on the menu.
Okay.
So there weren't a ton of things. That's all I know. I'm gonna go with burger stand.
Okay, go on
Go on
first.
pizza.
Pizza.
Ah,
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with A, gyro.
All right.
Gyro.
Well, it's pronounced Euro, but I
Well,
appreciate the effort.
Guess what I don't.
All right, so the answer is B, a burger stand.
Yeah.
Oh no. No.
Dad.
Rethink your life. So, when is National Taco Day? Now, this is a little bit more important than a lot of other holidays, especially but not limited to Thanksgiving, right? But National Taco Day is either the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of October. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with C, October 3rd.
Okay, going with C.
October 1st.
October 1st. All right.
I'm saying D, October 4th.
Going with October 4th. And the answer is October 4th. Fun fact, 4 is actually my lucky number, and it's slightly related to
Ooh,
Fun
That
fact,
was okay.
Marley is cheating.
that was
She even get the first answer right.
I know.
So
Here.
here's the real question. On average, how many pounds of beef does Taco Bell serve every year?
Serve?
100, 200, 300, or 11 billion?
Mm.
I'm gonna go with C.
Going with C.
Because Taco Bell is known as the best Mexican restaurant in America.
Okay, hold up. Hold the phone. Taco Bell is not Mexican food.
No. Like America voted, and they voted Taco Bell
Yeah.
as the best Mexican
All right.
That makes
Not
me
surprised.
sad. That makes me so sad.
restaurant.
It's upsetting.
I'm not telling you I agree with you.
Oh my
Agree with
god.
you. I'm just saying that's what happened.
To be
We don't
fair,
agree
we
with
live
those
in Southern
people.
California, which has some of the best Mexican restaurants, and then like
We are
a lot
blessed.
of other places don't have this. What we have.
Right?
It's
You don't
really
know.
You know where they probably voted? They probably voted that in North Dakota because they don't have any Mexican food in North Dakota. Like they have
Have
nothing.
you, Greg, have you been there or?
No, I don't need to go there.
Oh,
I just
okay.
Speaking from experience.
5 people that
Um,
live there and buffaloes, and that's all I know.
In Michigan, we don't really have very good Mexican food at all. That's where I'm from. The best Mexican food restaurant is known for their cheesy mashed potatoes.
Oh, those sound really good right now. Ooh, okay.
So we got Shelly
I-
on C. We got Marley on
I'm gonna say B. I'm going B.
Oh, you took mine. No.
on.
I'm gonna guess A.
All right.
100
Well,
million.
if it makes you feel better, Cameron, neither of it mattered because it was Shelly with C.
Ah,
Man, is he no? Shelly has 2. Marley has 1. Cameron is gonna shave his head. So
No.
the
No,
first
no.
taco truck
No.
is thought to have started in New York in what? 1966, 1976, 1986, 1996.
C, 1986.
Ugh,
He's
that's what I was gonna say.
learning. 76.
76, okay.
96.
96. Well, hey, I hope that you all feel good because you are all wrong.
Oh!
Okay.
56.
Well, that's good.
Taco truck was there.
Wow, tacos have been around for a really long time.
Friends, whip out your encyclopedias because we need to know how big was the biggest taco ever.
I don't know. I don't
140,
know.
462, 624, or 2,460 feet long.
Okay, the
How-
craziest part is that even A is the equivalent of a 24-story building.
Right?
Oh boy.
Like, that's massive.
So I would think this over. Why don't we go with Cam? Which one do you want? Apparently,
I think I'm gonna go with A. I'm gonna go with A.
Okay.
246. Sounds like a good number.
All right.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mar.
you say it at the same time. B. Were you gonna say B?
Okay.
Right.
I'm B.
I'll go with. I mean, I think I'm wrong either way. So I love tacos. I'm going to go with D because
And the answer is A. Cam is
Yes!
on the board.
Yes!
Now,
Finally, yes!
for last, Marley and Cam have one. Shelly has two. But we want to know, what does the word taco even mean?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Bringing it back to Spanish class. I don't know if you guys at home are missing your Spanish class, but now you're going to learn a little Espanol here on Students Live.
Oh
So,
boy.
delicious, cheap, light, or diarrhea? If one pick the
Spanish class was way too long ago. And I don't think we ever translated taco because it just is amazing.
I'm saying B.
okay, going with B.
I'll do C.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, friends, family, students, the answer was C.
Let's go!
No!
Let's go!
Are we all tied at 2?
Tie for first. It looks like Marley's shaving her head. It's about to get crazy. So, back to our friend Taco Bell. Taco Bell was the
get
first
rid?
national chain to get rid of what? The
Hey!
menu,
Wait.
or
No, Shelly!
Hey!
it might be D. I have never met a friendly worker at Taco Bell.
My
But
sister worked there.
McDonald's is pretty bad too. So,
I say C.
okay.
I can't say A.
Marley,
I'm gonna go with D because I get napkins all the time, but I rarely get a friendly worker.
and it is A. Shelly.
Dang it, Shelly.
Cameron is in second. Marley is in third. And our question is salsa.
Oh my gosh. Oh
You
my
know
gosh.
I know this.
Condiment.
Shelly, say it real quick.
Hey!
You picked A.
I'm gonna go with C.
I'm going with D since it's gonna be wrong.
And the answer is A. Shelly solidified her lead. And we only have 2 questions left. About
Oh my
how
gosh.
many tacos are consumed in the United States each year? I don't know if it's 1.5 because that is me alone. So I wouldn't count on that one. But we also have 5.5. 1.5 billion and 4.5 billion tacos.
Oh, each year?
C.
Amazing.
I got
All
B.
of them make me happy and hungry.
I say C. I know. A taco
Marley
sounds.
said C.
I got B. 5.5 mil.
Hey,
And you did C, Mar?
Yes.
Okay, I want to go with D, 4.5 billion, because
Well,
everyone needs tacos
friends-
in the world.
friends, family, students, I don't know what's happening today. All I know is that Shelly is on fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
4.5 billion tacos.
That's
And
so many tacos. Oh
did
my
Del
god.
Taco offer almost a decade before McDonald's did.
Oh, these are good.
Drive-throughs, dollar menu, or the kids meal.
I don't know. We don't have Del Taco in Michigan.
C.
Marley's going with C. Okay.
I think I'm gonna do. Oh, all these are good. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do A. I'm gonna do A.
I guess. I'm going to go with drive-through. That's probably not right.
Friends, I don't know what's happening.
Dang it!
No, that
No!
is
No!
the game. Like, legitimately killed the game.
Shelly knows
That was
her
taco trivia. Our friend from Michigan, who didn't even grow up eating Mexican food, just destroyed California natives at taco trivia.
I was schooled. I was.
I think I'm just gonna excuse myself. I think I'm just gonna.
I was.
Now.
I was bamboozled. I was hoodwinked, and I think I'm more bewildered.
So I think the important thing now is that while Marley did lose, we all agree that Cameron shaves his head.
Nope.
That should be my punishment. I think that's
And no
my
leaders. And no leaders in the chat right now telling me to shave my head. No, none of that. No.
You just got bullied. That's all that happened.
See, the thing is there might be a day where Cameron shaves his head, but it can't be because of something so silly as losing a game.
It's
It's
true.
got to be something awesome as, like, we get 500 students at our first Wednesday night back. Like, that's
What?
when
Yeah.
Cameron would shave his head.
If we get
Then it's negotiable.
Cameron.
When we talk about it. But I think the point that we're missing here is that Marley has to do a punishment now.
It's true. So we will be posting on our story this week about what Marley has to do.
Be kind, please. Be
You
kind.
get to pick the punishment.
No, we won't.
Cameron, you're gonna put like 10 responses.
I will. I 100% will.
I really
All right.
want a taco right now.
I do too.
That did make me very hungry.
Now I think we have a new segment coming up. What segment is that? Is that our
a little
news
thing called news with the
News
interns?
with the interns. News with the turns. We tried to say it at the same time, but video.
Zoom.
All right,
Zoom.
well, let's check that out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anchorman Cameron, coming at you live from my bedroom. And this just in breaking news, Florida alligators have just gotten their new elongated face masks. See, their new face mask couldn't fit their entire mouth, so they've just been primarily underwater. And now, the weather with Weather Marley.
Thanks, Anchorman Cameron. Our forecast today is sunny. We are currently enjoying some really nice weather in my brother's bedroom, and I hope that the weather continues to stay nice for the rest of this week. We are expecting a slight breeze depending on when the AC unit turns on. Now, this weather report was brought to you by one of our first and biggest fans ever, Kylo Ren. Thank you for all of your support and all of your encouragement over the last couple weeks and seconds that this news report has been a thing, Kylo Ren. You are rad. Now, back to you, Anchorman Cameron.
Thank you, Weather Marley, for the weather report. And we are actually just getting breaking news that Funko Pops have gained sentience and are now walking the streets of LA. However, no one is seeing them because everyone is inside for self-isolation. And now sports with Sports Marley.
Thanks, Anchorman Cameron. Today in sports, we will be talking about sports. Now I will be covering the tragic story that the annual turtle race will be postponed until July, seeing that they were only allowed to race if they maintained a 6-foot gap, and yet their friendship was too strong, and they continued to break that rule, leading to officials postponing the event. Those dang turtles. In other sports news, competitive puzzling has completely taken off, and it all started with a corner piece, if you know what I mean. Now, back to you, Anchorman Cameron.
Thank you, Sports Marley, for that update. I was really looking forward to the turtle race. I had my bets placed on Speedy the Turtle. And actually, we are now just getting breaking news that Chris Pratt, famous movie star, has tested positive for being an amazing guy. More as that story breaks as 11. But until then, Anchorman Cameron signing off. Stay rising.
Hey, what's up, students? It's Cameron. I'm coming at you with the message tonight. And before I jump into anything, I think I just have to address something real quick. Yes, I am not in my room right now. I am in my car. And that's because a couple weeks ago, I mentioned the fact that I have a couple designated prayer spaces. And I mentioned that one of my prayer spaces is my car. So I figured, why not invite you guys into my designated prayer space for the message today? So I can already feel all of the leaders like rolling their eyes at me right now. But hey, it's okay. We roll with those punches. You know what I mean? So let's jump into it, guys. I am going to be in my Bible. I have it right here. And we're going to be in Hebrews 10, verses 24 to 25. Now, I'm going to be reading from the NIV. Your Bible might be NLT, King James, or whatever. But if it sounds different, it probably is. It's just a different translation. But let's get into it. So, Hebrews 10, verses 24 to 25. And let us consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So, I think it's safe to say that within this past month, which is weird because it feels like 3 years, within this past month, a lot of our lives and a lot of our routines have just been flipped, turned upside down, spun around, and we're kind of left picking up the pieces, you know what I mean? So we figured as a ministry and as a team that we wanted to talk about ways that we can kind of get through this. But not get through it in the sense of like, it's done and over, but get through this in the sense of like, there was a meaning to it. And I absolutely love the community that Inland Hills Students has. One of my favorite parts of a Wednesday night is pre-service, just because I love hanging out with you guys so much. You guys are so funny. I love high-fiving. Remember when we used to high-five? That was a thing that we used to do. I remember just hanging out and just goofing off during pre-service, and then as soon as like we all go in for worship, it just I miss that so much. And I love the community that we had, and I miss that so much. But I also have to tell myself that it's not gone. It's not gone. Things are different now. Things are really different now. But we are still here as a community through the amazing technology and through Students Live. And that's why when I read this verse in Hebrews 10, I absolutely love it. Because it does talk about community, and it does a couple things for us as a community and how we can get through this. And there's 2 things that popped up to me when I read this. Number 1, toward love and good deeds. Wow. Love that. So amazing. So good. Toward love and good deeds. And I think what's interesting about this idea of toward love and good things, is that it doesn't specifically say what that means. And it doesn't specifically say what we're supposed to do. All it just says, very vaguely, as the Bible does so many times, it's toward love and good deeds. But what does that look like? Well, I think one of the cool things is that it's unique to every situation that we're in. So I think that's all up to you. You as a student, you as a leader, you as future Cameron. But I think you should take some time and kind of maybe work out what that means of what love and good deeds means to you. I think for some it could look like putting the toilet seat down for your brother, for your sister. No, not your brother. backtrack. For some, it looks like doing just little acts of kindness, like maybe not taking all of the food for dinner and leaving some for your siblings. Maybe it looks like putting the toilet seat down, or maybe it looks like getting up early and helping out with chores and taking out the trash and doing the dishes. It looks different during this time, of course, because we're in quarantine and we're with our families all the time, you know? So I think one of the things I would encourage for you to do is kind of think about ways of what this means for you. What does it mean to spur one another toward love and good deeds? Hopefully nothing sarcastic. Hopefully some genuine things could come from that. And now the second part that comes up to me of how we can get through this is when it says, not giving up on meeting together as some are in the habit of doing. Now I know what you're thinking. Some of the middle schoolers are like, oh my gosh, Cameron is telling me that I have to tune in to every student live service and I have to watch it, like you have to be tuned in and focused and all that time. Yes, but also there's a significant part to that, if that makes sense. So over the past couple weeks, I would think, I got to be in a bunch of small groups. Marley has been in small groups. Greg has been in small groups. And we've kind of been talking with leaders and a bunch of you guys just about how you guys are doing throughout all of this. And I think a lot of what you guys mentioned is that you guys have a lot on your plate. You guys have schoolwork, you guys have athletics, you guys have chores, you guys have so much stuff that you guys have to worry about, and this quarantine has not helped. And one of the things that we've been thinking as a ministry team and with leaders is that we don't want Students Live to be an extra chore for you guys. We don't want it to be this thing where you guys feel like you have to do it and it's like a homework assignment and then you go into small groups and then and it adds like a stress to your life. That's not at all what the point of what Students Live is supposed to. One of the things that I loved and do love about IHC students on a Wednesday is the fact that everybody wanted to be there for the most part. It's that you guys wanted to be there. And for some of you, it was an escape. It was an escape from like if you had a long day at practice, like you got to go and like hang out with your friends, or if you just had a rough day at school and you bombed a test, like you could go and like hang out with your small group after. Like there was fun in the community that we have. Now things look different. Not because we wanted it to be, but because we are in the situation. And we do not want to be an extra chore for you guys. Because there's a follow-up to this. Back in Hebrews 10:25. Not giving up on meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another. That's the part, encouraging one another. That was the whole point. When I look back on it, that was the whole point of IHC students. It was to encourage you guys, one another. I absolutely love seeing you guys hang out with all of your friends. It's funny to see all of you guys in your own groups and all of the juniors sit with each other during the message and all of like the middle school girls sit with each other. It's the best, you guys, because we have a community that loves each other. And we have a community that encourages each other. And things look different, of course. We're in quarantine. We're in the middle of this whole thing. But we don't want to stop encouraging you guys. And I think that's the whole point of the message. We didn't want it to be this thing where you guys feel it's like a burden to be in, but rather we wanted it to be a thing where you look forward to. You know? Like we wanted it to be like, man, I can't wait to go to my small group because I just need some social interaction for the day. Or I can't wait to go into my small group and just talk about how bad my day was. That's what the point of what this is. And that's what I love about community. So, well, I think that's all I have for today. And I hope that we can take some of this stuff. I hope that we can carry on with this. I can't wait for our small group and what that looks like. But yeah, I love you guys. I'm going to end in a prayer real quick. So, almost done. Father God, thank you for this time that we have together to come as a community. Thank you for this time where we can encourage one another and where we can be encouraged. Lord, I pray that as we go into small groups, a lot of us would feel filled up in our social tanks. Lord, I pray that the discussion is good. I pray that we can laugh. I pray that we can be real. And Lord, I just pray for that these next weeks to come that we can survive quarantine. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. Well, that's all I have for you guys. And now we're going to jump into some discussion questions. And then after that, we're going to go into small groups. Love you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.
Awesome. Good job, Cam. That was really fantastic.
This is a great
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It was from the heart. And I think that's what we need.
That's
Heck
good.
yeah.
You don't want it to be from like the foot. So
Yeah, no,
None of that. None of that.
not at all. The kneecap? Gross. So, while I was coming up with the message, I had some discussion questions for us to talk about. My first one is just to keep the ball rolling, but how do you, Greg, Shelley, Marley, how do you move towards love?
Mm. It's a good question.
Hmm.
I give them no time to prepare for this.
No. Mm-mm.
I think it's really important is that love isn't just something that we can do easily, but it's something that we have to choose to do. It's not something that always comes natural. I mean, there's plenty of people in our lives who are just hard to love. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. There are people that we just don't want to love. Maybe because they did something in our lives, or maybe because there's just shame and guilt there for something we might have done in theirs. But choosing to love starts with reflection of who Jesus is, because he gave us the ultimate example of what it looks like to love others, even when things are unfair, even when times are tough. I think moving towards love starts with a choice to do that.
I think for me, when I'm really struggling with like loving someone because they've just really made me angry or I don't understand where they're coming from, I like to try and understand, because if I can like have a logical reason why they said or did what they did, like that doesn't necessarily make it like okay, but it helps me like understand where they're coming from and like have a level playing field with them. So like I know how to start the conversation. So that's what I like to do. I like to ask a lot of questions and just try and understand where they're coming from. Oftentimes people are motivated by fear or anger. And yeah, if I can get that, then we can have a good conversation.
I think that's cool, especially during this time where we're all quarantined with like our families and stuff, where it's like, and we're obviously in a kind of like fearful time, you know? So obviously I think gaining like a new perspective on that kind of stuff can easily help us move towards love, you know? I agree with that. That's cool, Shelley.
Thanks. Sweet. I think mine, it sounds a little different and it looks a little different. Just because I'm in a house with 18,000 boys at all times, because I'm with all my brothers, and they annoy me like a lot, from fighting over Fortnite to just being boys and not showering. And so a couple weeks ago, Elijah just made a comment to me and I was like, I call it Hulk smash, but I just wanted to Hulk smash, and just like rage. But like that's not what Jesus tells us to do. And so I think for me, like sometimes moving towards love, like especially with my brothers, looks like me locking myself in the bathroom and just breathing and calming down and just like remembering like, okay, like I'm feeling really angry, and like those feelings are, I'm quoting a Frozen song, but like those feelings are real. But like I need to like chill out, because like it's not worth like blowing up, and that's not like reflecting Jesus. And I love my little brothers. Like reflecting Jesus is so important to me. And so I just have to like, I think for me, sometimes moving towards love actually looks like taking space, like in whatever way that looks like, so that I can like, okay, let me like calm down, check myself, like relax, and then like go back and actually respond in a way that isn't me like completely blowing up.
Dang, that's awesome. I have another question for you guys, but talked about community and just having a community to like encourage and like support one another, and talked about how IHC students is one of the best communities ever. Ever. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys, like, in what ways has any community impacted you? Because I know for me, when it comes with how community impacts me, it fills up that social tank of mine. And I definitely love to like feel encouraged and all that stuff. But at the same time, there's like been like communities that I've been a part of where it's like helped build my confidence, where I've gotten to surround myself with like good minded people. So yeah, that's for me. I want to know about you guys. Any community.
I mean, community is important because it's really what shapes us. You become the average of all the people that you hang around, and so it has a profound influence on you. For me, I've experienced it on both ends. I've experienced horrible community, which growing up just has a bad influence on you. You get involved in just dumb things. You do dumb things because that's part of what the expectations are. That's what everyone does. And then when I started coming to church in high school and having that small group of guys that I would meet with had a profound effect on me, because it gave me a community that can guide me in the right direction, that can encourage me when I'm trying hard on stuff, but can also call me out on things. I think that if you have a community that's afraid to call you out for things that you're doing, then your community doesn't care as much as you want them to, because they have to be there to support you, but also to keep you accountable for things, and have that community important to you. So small groups is the greatest community that you can have, because it can become such a pillar in your life.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like community for me has looked like it's looked like a lot of different things. With being in college and being a commuter, a lot of my friends live on campus, so their interactions would be like, hey, like I'm coming over to your apartment, and that for me is I have to drive all the way to school to get there. And so I think for me, like something that I had to learn about community is that it's something that I need, like Greg said, but it's something that I'm going to have to like seek out. And though it's like scary at times, sometimes it can be really scary to like put yourself out there and be like, I want community. So I'm going to pour into people and like reach out. I think one of like the bravest things that we can do as people is like taking time to reach out when we need to. And so I think the coolest thing is that every time I have reached out, no matter like how scary it was or how nervous I felt about it, like Jesus has always showed up to like make the interaction just like a really awesome, filling time. So I think what I've learned and what I've even started to take into like this quarantine time is we're all stuck at home, but like that doesn't mean I can't reach out to people and be like, hey, this is where I'm at and I want to Hulk smash my brother, but I can't. And so I'm going to tell you about it. That's been really, really like a cool thing that I've been experiencing with community this far.
Yeah, for me, especially in this quarantine time, I am like you, Cameron, like I just love my community to like, it just helps fill me up. And so like I didn't realize that I was totally missing out on like all of those just like tiny little interactions like with people that would just like fill me up and make me smile and encourage me. And I just have kind of become like the last 2 weeks I've been a sleeping machine because I'm sick. But before that, like I was just kind of becoming like this work machine. Like, okay, I woke up. Now I'm gonna work. I'm gonna try and get some exercise in because walking to my kitchen and back is not enough exercise. Like all of those things, and like totally didn't put in time for spending time with people that like. I mean, obviously Shauna and our roommate Marilyn, but like my friends that I'm used to interacting with, even just like quick little interactions, like I'm not getting that right now. And so it actually wasn't until this past Sunday that like I finally had one of those interactions and was like, oh, wow, I really missed that. It really filled me up so much. So right now it's reaching out to my friends and the small group that I'm in, so that I've got those people who are filling me up and just encouraging me or sending me ridiculous memes or letting me know that they're praying for me, those kind of things. That's really what has helped. That my community has really helped me in this time.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And that kind of leads into my my next question, because I wanted to talk about like what are some things that can fill us up like that. So Shelly, you just said all of your stuff. But and it's like I feel like we can talk about things that like how in quarantine, how are we being filled up now? And then after this is all over, what are we going to do to fill ourselves up? You know? Mm-hmm. So like for me, some of the stuff that's been filling me up and like that's been encouraging me has definitely been a part of I'm part of the senior, junior, and sophomore boys small group. And so I jump in there and those guys are hilarious and like they make me laugh and they make me smile so much. And it's just like the coolest thing ever. And then also like besides that, I get to like FaceTime like all my friends from school and then just be like, how's your life going? I miss you so much. Like I wish I was in person to hug you right now, but obviously we're not. So stuff like that. Like I'm like for me, like to get like my tank filled up, I have to like reach out to like my friends and stuff and just kind of like vent about my day or just like listen to them and just yeah. So that's me. How about Greg and Marley? How about you guys?
Go for it, Marley.
Sure. No, I think I had a really actually cool conversation with Shelly yesterday, where she was one of the little things like filled me up that day. And really, we just talked about how, like she said, like the little simple interactions are not there right now and how much like those have meant to me and how much I didn't realize like I needed them. And so I think things that I've been doing in quarantine is really just like I'm kind of like turning a new leaf, I guess you can say, and like starting to reach out with people and, you know, schedule like, hey, I miss you. Like, let's FaceTime on this day and like talk. Or like I texted a friend yesterday late at night and was like, hey, like we've talked about this class. Why don't we have like a coffee date over FaceTime and we can like talk about our assignment and also just catch up. And so we like both got there and neither of us actually drink coffee. So we were drinking water, but it was just like a fun little thing where it was like, hey, you got your water? Okay. Like, let's hang out. And so I think just making, Shelly said it really well, but I think what it looks like right now is like making space for fun, and not being like so set on like what that looks like. Like it doesn't need to be perfect. And at times like it is really awkward, but like just like putting it out there like, hey, like let's eat a meal together over FaceTime or something like that. Like, okay, it might be weird that you're like video chatting and like chowing down a bowl of cereal, but it's just like that fun thing of like, well, what cereal are you eating? Well, I'm eating this one. And so I think just looking for opportunities like that to like put little deposits in my emotional piggy bank, as I've been calling it, that just like make sure I feel like filled up. Because it's really easy right now to like not feel like filled. And so look for other things to fill us up. And so I think for me, it's just like you said, Cam, to just like reaching out, saying like, hey, let's do something fun. Like, I know it's FaceTime, but like, let's just make it happen. And just not being too scared to do that.
For sure.
Yeah, I think those are great things. I mean, reaching out to people, having a Zoom session with your friends who you haven't seen in a long time. I think the hard thing is that with everything going on, we've literally become potatoes, right? We're like couch potatoes while eating potato chips, like everything that before might have driven us a little crazy. And now we're constantly in a state of that. And we can neither fight nor flight. And so we just sleep. And even sleeping drains us because we're getting so tired of the same old, same old. And I say just switched up. Like Marley was saying, whatever ways you can have fun, just have fun in that way. Like the other night, my friends and I, we used to go to like a coffee shop and like hang out and just like talk about ministry. And now we do that over Zoom, where we'll all like grab our coffee from our Keurig and just hang out and just chat. Or maybe it's just going into your backyard and like hanging out with a pet, or just doing anything to break out of this mold that you might have set for yourself during this time. Because I think the hard thing is that when this all started, we looked for comfortability in processes of like, okay, I can do this today, I can do that. And now that we're doing the same thing every single day, we're getting so tired of it, and it's driving us a little mad. And so I would say do something. Like whatever it is, just do it. If it's hanging out with your friends, if it's having a picnic in your backyard by yourself, just do something. And I think that will recharge you in ways you've never seen.
Yeah, or like pull out your parents' old tent and camp in your backyard.
Camp in the backyard. There you go.
There you go.
I have a friend who I promised her I wouldn't tell her, I wouldn't share her name, but I have a friend who in her actual community, like that she lives in, she like took this cabinet and like repainted it and then filled it with a bunch of like board games and puzzles and like pasta and toilet paper and like just a bunch of extra stuff that she happened to have, and then put it out on her sidewalk because she like noticed that a bunch of people would walk by every single day. And so she was like, well, maybe I can like just be a blessing, because she's just is one of those people who loves to serve. And so she put that out every day. It was just like a cool project in a way that like she could get filled up by like blessing other people.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Puzzles work. I saw something on like Instagram where someone did like a 200,000 piece puzzle of like all the Disney movies. And I'm like, well, there's something I want to do in my life. But it was pretty awesome seeing someone else do it. So impress me with your creativity.
Entertain me, please.
Yeah, please.
Anything.
Send us funny memes.
Cool. Well, that was it for like some of the questions, but I have one last thing. I know that we've been talking about this whole series of like how to survive quarantine, and we talked about community, and I just wanted to kind of throw the ball to you, but is there any last words you guys want to say about this whole topic, or maybe like something that I missed or something that is on your heart about this whole thing? Kind of want to give the ball to you guys for a bit. Unless no, and then we just move on.
We're thinking.
I think that many things can be said on this subject, especially because everything that we're saying is stuff that has been said before, because we've never faced anything like this before. We're realizing that while our family drives us crazy, we're also dependent on them. And I think this is the perfect time to build connections that you never had. Reach out to people that maybe you left in your dust. You know, I think if anything, this offers an opportunity of reflection, and it almost forces us into this state that we're uncomfortable with, but it's in uncomfortability where we're going to grow the most.
That's a good word.
And I think encouraging you guys to reach out to your leaders and to us as well, your friends too. But if you don't already know, we're all on social media. I know the majority of you are. If you're not, we can fix that, or we can still help you get a hold of us. Two things. One, you can go to our church website and get any of our email addresses. But two, on social media, we're all on Instagram. So reach out to us. Send us a DM. I'm Shelly L. Sousa, SHELLEY LSOUSA.
US.
I'm not trying to get followers. I just want you to Greg, Carly, Cameron, tell them what yours are so I don't feel like I'm looking for followers.
Mine is UHMM_Greg. And I am trying to get followers. So just kidding.
No shame. Mine is at Nerdy Geek Guy. That's me.
Yep.
I was so proud when I got that username.
I'm proud of you.
Not to copy Cam and have more than yours, but mine is smart, GOGEO nerd. So I made that in middle school, and that's what happens when Marley makes her account in middle
When I
school.
first saw it, I for sure thought it said smart Jennard. And I was like,
Jennard.
"Man, I don't think I know a Jennard."
Well, now you do.
Apparently.
Apparently now you do.
So reach out to each of us. Cameron will come back in a second. There he
I'm
is.
right here. Yep.
Reach out to any of us. We would love the chance to connect and talk with you guys. And I know your leaders would as well. We're all available for coffee dates or talk.
Whatever that looks like now.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. That was literally what I was going to share. I wrote down a few things, and one of them was just the idea of like reaching out. Students, if you don't know, like people love you, and we love you so, so much, and people want to hear from you, and they want to connect. And chances are when you take that leap of faith in reaching out, that person needed like a connection as well. Mm-hmm. So.
Now we are going to be jumping into one of our favorite times, which is our small groups, our Zoom groups. But before we do that, let's pray. Dear Father, thank you so much for what you're doing in our lives. I pray that you're just moving in this season in our lives and just in our households, Lord. I know that sometimes when we think of doing missionary work, it's going across the nation, but honestly, that can start behind our front door. And I pray that we're just being representatives of you and just giving you all the glory. It's in your heaven I pray. Amen. Our links are in the chat right here. Click on your grade and gender, and we will see you next week.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Peace out. Love ya.
Peace
Miss
out,
you.
skaters.